Well, hello racing fans, and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for Sunday the 25th of May. We are racing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, and it's a fantastic meeting that they've put on this Sunday for us racing fans. We've got 10 races on the go, including the last leg of the winter series, where it all could be won by the horse on the front of the computer form called Garrix. So it's the Pocket Power Stakes that we're going to have a look at during the course of this race by race preview, the Stormflay Stakes as well, and there are 10 races on the go. It'll begin early at 11:55. Graham Hawkins on the line, and before we say hi to him, let's bring up the field for race number 1, which is at 11:55, over 1,200 meters. It's a juvenile plate, and this is how it looks when it comes to betting. A lot of first timers here. Number 1 is Casino King at 7-1. 3 Chance Encounter at 33-10. Number 6 is Behave Harris at 8-1. Number 8 is trading at 9-2. We also have Sardinia Bay, number 10 at 9-2, and then 8-1 shots, numbers 12 and 13. So it looks like a very tricky market trying to work out what's going to happen here. First timers against unraced horses. But Graham Hawkins on the line, as I mentioned. Graham, it's a wonderful race day to close off the week.
Absolutely, Dees. As you've mentioned, the third leg of the winter series, and the weather promises to play ball. It's going to be a sunny, if not a little cool, but it's going to be a sunny day at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, so perfect conditions for racing.
Race number 1, Graham, I'm just going to read out the comments that look positive with regards to these first timers. Number 3, Chance Encounter, has galloped and should run well for Unraynell and Platinum Racing. Horse number 6, Behave Harris, for Adam Marcus, shows a good work, has ability, and can then look at possibly number 12 in a timely manner. Graham also expecting a fair run from that, from the Justin Snate stable. Nice type, but needs at least a mile, and they give that a place chance. Unknowns we don't know much about, but of the race runners, what can you tell us?
Well, before we get to the race runners, money is starting to come for number 3, Chance Encounter. As you say, positive comments coming through from the Andre Nel stable. Coincidentally, he's a full brother to Champagne Kessers, who won the last race at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on Wednesday. So siblings could go back to back. I'm expecting a really good run from number 3, Chance Encounter. There's not a lot of form to go around. Number 8, Get Up and Go, did show promise on debut. Then something went completely awry second up. Sardinia Bay caught the eye, went fourth behind Chilean on debut, and that form has been franked during the course of the week, with 3 Tigers coming from there to win. So that form line is now franked, so you can expect a really good run from number 10, Sardinia Bay, with number 1, Casino King. I think he's had 3 starts. What you see is what you get. He could certainly get into the exacta trifecta and quartet money, but not much form to go around, and I think watch the betting with particular regards to number 3, Chance Encounter, as the race time approaches, because I'm expecting that one to shorten.
Well, you can take down the betting now that I've had a look after Graham mentioned that there's money for the horse, and he's on the mark. This horse, Chance Encounter, I mentioned at around 33-10. Well, the horse in fact opened up at 9-2 and has now been backed into 18-10. So the anti-post money is for the first timer that Graham has singled out there. Number 3, Chance Encounter. Race number 2 will start off the bipod. It's over 1,000 meters. A juvenile plate for fillies, a maiden juvenile plate. Okay, number 1, Vixen's War, 10-1 into 8-1. We got Inside Voice for Vaughan Marshall, who's had 2 very good runs to date. No surprise to see this on top of the boards at 18-10. 4 is scratched. 7 Penny's Choices at 8-1, and 9 Maketa is at 8-1. The right horse on top of the boards of the race runners, Graham, I don't think anything should trouble this of the ones that have run. Number 2.
You haven't mentioned number 15, Dumoria, who caught the eye on debut, went second behind She's My World. That's quite a short price, second choice in the market. But yes, number 2, Inside Voice, is the market leader. And if Hollywood miss, as you know, we record the show on Saturday morning, so we're all still waiting to see what happens at the Daily News race meeting. But if Hollywood Racing miss, they have a few opportunities to record their 100th winner of the season at Hollywoodbets Greyville during the course of the Daily News meeting. But if they miss their very good chance at number 2, Inside Voice, could be their 100th winner of the season. 2 very good runs, drawn nicely, shows terrific speed and should go well here. But number 15, Dumoria, does present as a danger. A good second on debut at a big price behind the impressive winner, She's My World. And she should take a giant step forward. So I think from a bipod perspective, first leg of the bipod, D's, I think you need to include both of those runners. The experience will count in their favor. Number 2, Inside Voice, and number 15, Dumoria. I would go with both of them in the opening leg of the bipod. As you say, there are a number of well-bred first-timers. Number 7, Penny's Choice, showing good work at home. Gavin Larena rides for Vaughan Marshall. The strike rate there is incredible. I don't think it's fancied, but worth noting that Beach Bomb's half-sister, number 6, Beach Verse, by Vercingetorix, runs for Candice Bass-Robinson as number 6, Saddlecloth. But the jockey arrangements would certainly suggest that number 15, Dumoria, is the stable elect. So yes, I'm in the camp of number 2, Inside Voice, but I would back it up in the opening leg of the bipod with number 15, Dumoria.
Race number 2, numbers 7 and 8 are worth including in trifectas and quartets. The comments: Vaughan Marshall, number 7, shows good work at home, place chance, and horse number 8, Brett and James Crawford, give that a place chance as well. The balance of those comments possibly needing their runs here in race number 2 with those first timers. And Dumoria, as Graham mentioned, that is trading at around 5-2, the second pick in the betting market. Race number 3, the place accumulator, maiden plate over 1,600 meters, and this is how it looks. You need to get on the tote by 13:05 if you want to play the PA. Number 1, Exalted Love at 7-1. 2 is Tunguska. That's from 2-1. Graham has shortened into 14-10. Then we got number 4, Magnus the Good, at 5-1. 5, Afrique at 6-1. Number 6 is Signor Dante. That's trading at 3-1. And 7, Gallic Forge at 5-1. It is the start of the place accumulator, Graham. I don't know how many horses you are going to include here. Are you running for cover with number 2? Or you're going to banker the money horse from an informed stable of Ricky Maingard?
Yeah, Ricky Maingard's stable is in very, very good form. So number 2, Tunguska's got the right profile. This is not a very strong maiden plate over 1,600 meters. They're smattering of form all around, but Tunguska certainly coming along very nicely. Close second behind Show Off over 1,700 last time, and he's a worthy favourite. To answer your question, yes, in the opening leg of the place accumulator, which is my bet of choice, there are a couple of very tricky legs, and then perhaps towards the end of the card it gets somewhat easier. I'm going to throw into the play number 6, Senor Dante, as well. If at worst, I believe we will double up, but you never can tell. Tunguska obviously going to be tough to beat, but I have a huge measure of respect for number 6, Senor Dante. He's only had the 2 starts. I like the look of him. He's a nice type, and I think the further he goes, the better he will be. So he started off over 1,200 meters. He then stepped up to 1,400 meters, when a close third behind Father Christmas. He now gets the mile, and I think we should see further improvement from number 6, Senor Dante. So while number 2, Tunguska, is my top choice, I think he can expect a lot of competition from number 6, Senor Dante. Of the balance, well, you've got Exalted Love, Magnus the Good, Afrique, and Gallic Forge, all who have scope for improvement and could get into the exacta trifecta quartet action. But I do think the outcome rests between number 2, Tunguska, and number 6, Senor Dante. Slight preference for number 2, Tunguska, but huge respect for number 6, Senor Dante.
Okay, Graham expecting what would be a form result here in the start of the place accumulator with the 2 horses, numbers 2 and 6, and he'll have every chance of doubling up there if you include both horses in that PA. The pick 6, the big one, should attract a respectable pool on the Sunday, considering that we have those feature races and Garrick's running for the Winter Series. It's a B stakes over 1,400 meters. Number 1, Dawn Till Dusk, is at 7-1. 2, World of Pleasure, that's trading at 5-1. number 3 Air Raid, and number 5 Please Be True. Opened up at 2-1, but there is some money for number 5 Please Be True that has shortened in now 18-10 at the time of recording. 6 Green Garnet is at 7-1, and 8 Captain West is at 8-1. It's a small field of 8 runners that go to post-year, Graham, but there is some form to speak about. I think the 2 runners that they priced up initially at 2-1 look to be the right 2 horses in the field. But I just have a lot of respect for this horse called Green Garnet from the Eric Sands yard. What you make of his chances at around 7-1?
Yeah, I think that Green Garnet might well be biting off a little bit more than he can chew, if I'm to be perfectly honest, Dees, but I don't think it's cut and dried between Air Raid number 3 and Please Be True number 5. I think this is a very interesting first leg to the Pick Sixes B Stakes 1400 meters. 2 different form lines. I'll come back to Green Garnet in a moment, but obviously Air Raid and Please Be True bring the Dumbledore form line into the race. They met on the 4th of May. Air Raid was second. It was beaten as an even money favourite. Please Be True was running on very nicely. That was his first run since February, probably more at home over this 1400 metres. So they bring that form line into the race. It's a strong form line, and we know that Air Raid and Please Be True are 2 quality 3-year-olds. And those are the 2 that I've gone with in the place accumulator. But from a Pick Six point of view, of course, World of Pleasure is a decent sort. 3 runs back, he beat Empire State, who's come out to win really well since. Last time out, he was only a short head behind Captain West over 1,400 meters. I think the winter course, they now all run on the winter course, and I think that's going to suit his style of racing. He meets Captain West at exactly the same weight terms. So it's really difficult to understand how World of Pleasure can be at around 5-1. And you can now get 12-1 about number 8, Captain West, who for me is way overpriced in the anti-post market. Yes, he ran a disappointing race behind Tenango. That was down the lane over 1,200 meters. But he's quite deadly over this 1,400 meters. And although he's drawn widest of all, and maybe he will find that World of Pleasure will be too strong for him this time around, on paper he brings solid credentials into the race. So just why he's 12-1, I don't understand. Green Garnet, as I said, I think he takes on stronger. But that being said, while I haven't included him into the place accumulator, I will certainly include him into the Pick Six, because I don't think this race is quite as easy as it appears, or as the betting appears to suggest. So I think that Green Garnet is certainly worth throwing into the Pick Six, particularly if you're going to look beyond number 3's Air Raid and 5 Please Be True. And I'm going to do that because I'm not going to exclude number 2 World of Pleasure. I'm not going to exclude number 8 Captain West, and therefore if I'm going 4, I might as well go 5 and throw in number 6 Green Garnet. My top 2 choices would be Air Raid. There's always been a talk about this horse, and he's been in good form recently. He lost his way a little bit. He hasn't quite lived up to the potential, and Please Be True, they've also always spoken very highly of. So they are probably the 2 leading candidates. In that respect, the betting is right, but I think they're underestimating the chances of World of Pleasure, Captain West, and as you say, perhaps Green Garnet. It's going to be an interesting race. It's going to be a competitive race. I don't think it's cut and dried.
Okay, you could get a result here if 3 and 5 don't shape up on the day in leg 1 of that Pick Six. Race number 5 is Jackpot 1, 1,400 meters. This is a Class 5. The field and the betting. Well, there's just, this is very interesting, Ram, because when I took down the betting, I actually had a giggle. Because number 5, Happy Verse, is at 2-1. And then that is it. The balance of the field are all in double figures. So if you're not in the camp of number 5, Happy Verse, at 2-1, then you got value to be had here if you're going for the glory bet, which is the win bet. But it should be a very interesting race, considering that Happy Verse was a debut winner. That was back in April, on the 28th of April, winning a good race. But this type of field, I don't know what Graham's suggestion is going to be here, but you're going to have to be a brave tin soldier, Graham, to bank a number 5 Happy Verse in a bet like the Pick Six.
I hear your hesitation, and I share your hesitation. I go back to Thursday at the Val, where that horse won Tiger, 2-year-old, running against older horses under a big weight. He was favourite, but ended up running well back. In fact, he finished last. I'm not going to suggest that Happy Verse is going to finish last. He could be the real deal. He'll need to be the real deal. As you say, it's 2-1 Happy Verse, 10-1. Are the one. Well, I'm happy to take this favourite on. He beat Bugle Boy on debut. They put the kitchen sink onto Bugle Boy on Wednesday, and while he didn't run a bad race, he ended up running fourth. They backed Bugle Boy from 8-1 into 28-10. Showed some pace, but was run out of it in the closing stages. So that form line hasn't really been framed. I know this is a low-grade race, and I know he's a high-quality 2-year-old. But second up against the seasoned campaigners with 60 kilograms on his back. D's, I'm very happy to play against him. I'll be the first to congratulate the winners if he does come through. He's stepping up to 1,400 meters. Arguably, that makes his task even more difficult. I've put 5 horses into this leg of the place accumulator. I think races 5 and 6 are the 2 tough races on the card. So I'm playing to beat number 5, Happy Verse. I guess I wouldn't be surprised to see him win it, but nor would I be surprised to see him running downfield. So I've gone with all of numbers 4, 5, 8, 13, and 14. That's firing on all engines. Obviously, I've included number 5, Happy Verse. I've thrown in number 8, District Master. It's going to be interesting to see how that Father Christmas form stands up. I'm going to throw in number 13, Askiro, winner last time. Obviously, he's got a tricky draw to overcome, as he did last time. And then one of my old favorites who's really battling to get into the winner's enclosure, but has been placed in his last 2 starts, and he's a strong finisher, is number 14, Sundays. So although he's got a bad draw, I think he'll be running on very strongly when others are coming up for air. So short and sweet, this is a nightmare of a race. Any kind of result can be expected. I'm playing to beat the favourite, number 5, Happy Verse. Not easy for a 2-year-old under 60 kilograms, taking on these hard-knocking horses. First time he goes around the turn, he steps up to 1,400 meters. So there are a lot of question marks, and I'm happy to go wide here. And like I say, if he does come through, then we know we're dealing with a really, really top-class 2-year-old.
Well, Graham has given us some positives and some negatives about number 5, Happy Verse. And you're going to have to be the judge if you're going to row in with him to play against the horse that's priced up at 2-1, and it's 10-1 bar. That's race number 5, which was leg 1 of the jackpot. Race number 6 is a D stakes over 1,800 meters. And the number 1, Beer with the Boys, is trading at 5-1. 2, English Mistress, she's at 7-1. Then we got number 5, Baton Rouge, at 4-1. Number 7, Summer Night City, at 8-1. 28-10, number 10, Midway, for Brett and James Crawford, who's run 2 good races. He's turned his form around at his last 2 starts. And maybe that second career win, which is long overdue, could be on Sunday. And we got an 8-1 shot here, number 12, To the Moon and Back, who also, has some fair form to recommend. But when you look at the weights, that is 64 kgs from draw number 12 for number 12, which is To the Moon and Back. But it's not a big spread of weights, Graham, unless you're just going to factor in number 3, Silver Quality, who comes in right at the bottom of the weights. But amongst the other runners, there's really not much in it, although this horse carries 64 kgs along with number 1, Beer with the Boys.
Yeah, look, as you said, it's not a big spread of weights with the exception of number 3, Silver Quality. It's another low-grade race, 62 average merit rating, D stakes 1,800 meters, another nightmare of a race for punters. As I said earlier, races 5 and 6 for me are where you can expect possibly some results. I do think that number 10, Midway, is a worthy favourite. He's showing strong signs of wanting to win his second career start. I'm not sure how strong his resolve is in a finish. I thought he was coming through to win his last start over 1,600 meters when beaten a length and a half by Count William. He was travelling well enough to go on and win it. He just didn't seem to put it all together over the closing stages, but perhaps he'll prefer this trip, the last 2 being over 1,600 meters. So he's in good form. He deserves to be favourite, but I wouldn't be rushing off to grab 28-10. for me, the right betting in a race like this is 5-1 the field. So I'm not grabbing that sort of price at this stage. I've got 5 horses in this leg of the PA as well. I closed off with 3 bankers, but I've got 5 horses in the PA as well. I'm happy to give your horse number 1, Beer with the Boys, another chance. Also got 64 to shoulder, ran an indifferent race over 1600 last time. I think he prefers a slightly stiffer test of stamina. From pole position, I'm expecting a better run from number 1, Beer with the Boys. We were all over English Mistress last time. She finally won a maiden at the 18th time of asking, but the average merit rating there was 62, and guess what? She's back in an average merit rating 62 race, and these stakes races do favour the fillies. I actually had quite a bit of a smile on my face when I saw who was carded to ride it, because Andrew Fortune got her home last time and said, well, I'll be happy never to ride her again, but here we are. He rides number 2, English Mistress, and I think she's got as good a chance as any. I know she took a long time to win a maiden, but she'll be competitive here. Baton Rouge, good run behind 006. He's not the most consistent around. Richard Faree rides him for the first time ever. The Apprentice takes 4 kilograms off number 7, Summer Night City. That brings her into the race with a chance, but I've excluded her from my list of 5 for the PA, but I'm also including number 10, Midway, and despite the 64 kilograms and the worst of the draw, number 12, To the Moon and Back. So my PA numbers, which we'll recap later on, would be numbers 1, Beer with the Boys, 2, English Mistress, 5, Baton Rouge, 10, Midway, and number 12, To the Moon and Back. Do I think that number 10, Midway, is the one to beat? Yes, I do, because, as I say, he's now starting to knock at the door. He'll give us a good run for our money, but I'd like to see a little bit more resolution in the finish.
Graham's going wide here in the exotics in race number 6, and understandably, because you can see by the betting, Midway at 28-10, and then it's 4-1 and better the balance. He was strong on number 2, English Mistress, the last time this ran, and she did get the job done. But I see Brandon Galliardo's tipping in the computer form. He wants her to go back to back because he does tip her first. Race 6, number 2, English Mistress. So we're on to race number 7, and what this means, it's the Stormflay Stakes, one of the 2 features on the day, a listed race over 1,800 meters. It's for a stake of 2,000 meters, and more importantly, for you, the valued racing fan, it's the start of Jackpot 2 with 10 races carded. Number 1, Beware the Bomb at 5-2. Then we got number 3, Time for Love at 2-1. There is a form update for number 4, Lickety Split, ran on the 21st of May. Keep an eye on declarations. If it takes her part here, finished third, 2.2 lengths behind Strawberry Thief. Number 5, Gold Poker Game, which for me is the most interesting runner in the field at 3-1. 6, Knockout at 8-1, and 7, Fun Zone at 9-2. I think the right horse is possibly on the top of betting boards here in Time for Love. Michelle Rakes and Harold Crawford with Gavin Arena up. And but this horse, Graham, I know that she's a 5-year-old. She hasn't won for some time. But, Candice Bash Robinson has always kept her in the best of company, Graham. And she's, she doesn't run badly. She's just off, the best when it comes to the fillies and mares. But last time out, she started to grab your attention behind Time for Love, Graham. I don't know what you make of her chances on Sunday, but for the pick 6 at around 3-1, I'm willing to include her in everything.
You're entitled to include number 5, Gold Poker Game, because she is, as you've mentioned, very game, very consistent. Has always run in very good quality feature races. She usually runs on very well. And she clearly has a chance here, particularly she only finished 3/4 of a length behind Time for Love in the second leg of the winter series for the fillies and mares, and that was of course the ladies' mile. It was a bit of a blanket finish when Time for Love got the job done, beating Call Me Getrix. Call Me Getrix doesn't reoppose here, but I'm quite strongly in the camp of number 3, Time for Love. I do think she'll go back to back. She won the ladies' mile last year, beating My Flower Fate, and then ran third in this race, the Storms Play Stakes, and that was behind Red Palace, who at the time was trained by Candace Bass Robinson. I suspect there's no Red Palace in this race, although I do have huge respect for Beware the Bomb and Gold Poker Game. But I'm happy to throw my lot in again with number 3, Time for Love. Gavin Larina's riding up a storm. He won on her in the Ladies' Mile. His strike rate for the Harold Crawford, Michelle Ricks combination has been phenomenal. He also rides Garrix, obviously, in the Pocket Power Stakes, does Gavin. So although she only won in a blanket finish, the Ladies' Mile, I do think the race sets up really nicely for Time for Love, so I'm very strongly in her camp. Gold Poker Game, a clear danger. Bank at number 3, Time for Love, in the place accumulator, but obviously in the first leg of Jackpot 2 and in your pick sixes, you might want to include both numbers 1, Beware the Bomb, and 5, Gold Poker Game. Beware the Bomb ran in the Ladies' Mile. That was her first run in 5 months, and she came out very fresh. She never settled at all. She was over racing, and still she stayed on. I'm not convinced that 1,800 meters is within her range, but it could be. This will be her second run after rest. She's clearly a very talented filly. Hopefully she doesn't give Richard Free a torrid time again, because she pulled his arms out last time. And as I say, still ran a creditable 7th, beaten only a length and a quarter. So expect a lot of improvement from number 1, Beware the Bomb, particularly if she settles. The one thing that Gold Poker Game doesn't have a problem with is settling. Is getting her to rev up her engines in the straight. But she'll be running at them at the line. I've never been convinced that Fun Zone, who was also close up behind Time for Love in the Ladies' Mile, is as effective over 1,800 meters. Happy to be proven wrong. But number 3, Time for Love, is my clear first choice. I harbour a great deal of respect for the Drockenstein runners, number 1, Beware the Bomb, and 5, Gold Poker Game. So while I'm bankering number 3, Time for Love, in the place accumulator, I will include numbers 1, Beware the Bomb, and 5, Gold Poker Game in the jackpot.
Okay, that's race number 7. And then on to the main event, which is race number 8, the Pocket Power Stakes, the last leg of the winter series. And it's over 1,950 meters. It's a listed race. It's for a stake of 350,000. And with Garrix aimed at pulling off the series, I'm sure there'll be plenty viewership come 1,600 hours on Sunday. Number 2, Otto Lucan, that's at 8 to 1. Number 3, Magic Verse at 5 to 1. 4, Mucha Dinero at 2 to 1. And 7, Garrix is trading at 9 to 10. Graham, whilst we all love these successful stories in racing where we honor our champions and horses that give us these wonderful memories, and this horse could be one to reel off the winter series, there's a flip side to that, and that is punting. We love these beautiful stories, but then we have to factor in how we're going to be playing on the day, because whilst Garrick has done everything to date to pull off this winter series, there is slight weight turnarounds with horses that he's beaten in the past.
It's not going to be that easy for number 7, Garrick. So let's deal with the plus sides first. This will be his 3rd run after being rested and gelded. So it should be his peak run. So he might have suffered a little bit from the 2nd run after rest syndrome last time when struggling to get going, but finally getting there to edge out Otto Lucan in the Legal Eagles Stakes. This will be his 3rd run. He's always been well spoken of, that we know. He certainly settled down very nicely as a gelding. His preliminary behavior before the race is much better. So those are all positives. When he won the first leg of the winter series, that was in the Variety Club Mile, he carried 52.5. Then he carried 55.5 in the Legal Stakes. Now he carries 57. So it's getting harder. And as you say, purely at the weights, both numbers 2, Otto Lucan, and 4, Mucha Dinero, should turn him over. So he's going to have to be at his best, but I think he will rise to the occasion. I've made him a place accumulator banker, obviously, number 7, Garrix. But Mucha Dinero, in particular, I think deserves a huge amount of respect because, as you say, he's waited to turn it around. And we know he's a top-class horse. He's won 7 races. He has won feature races. He's won at grade 2 level. So, to ignore number 2, Mucha Dinero, is putting your head in the sand. But I'm hoping that Garrix gets the job done because he deserves to win the Winter Series. It's, as you say, a nice story for the 3-year-old to take out the Winter Series. But Mucha Dinero is very much alive. At the weights, Otto Lucan is also very much alive. He nearly caused a 75-1 upset last time out, but does he ever run two races alike? So I do think that Mucho De Niro is the bigger threat to number 7, Garrick. So I'm not ignoring number 3, Magic Verse, because he also has shown very, very decent form in the past. And he was only beaten a length and 3/4. He's also now better off at the weights with Garrick. So Garrick's is probably going to be all out to win. Does he represent fair value at 9 to 10? I would hesitate to say yes, because I do think that Mucho De Niro is very much alive. Also remember that we're on the winter course. The first 2 legs of this winter series were run on the summer course, was his longest straight, and Garrick's took an awful long time to get going last time. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We hope he gets the job done. We hope he lands the winter series. Dees, as a throwaway comment, I'm going to remind you that this race last year was won by the Futurist by 9 1/4 lengths.
Sure.
When he beat Bakaya by 9 1/4 lengths. That was in the Pocket Power Stakes. Now, you never know what to expect from the Futurist, but his form on the winter track is 3 starts, 1 win, and 2 seconds. And if they allow him to get away and lead them a merry dance, well, I know he's going to be a big price. He's been a big price every time he wins. He was 33-1 when he won the Pocket Power Stakes last year. He was 66-1 when he won the Premier's Trophy on the 14th of December, when he beat Otto Lucan, and he's waited to confirm that form with Otto Lucan, and therefore on best form he's quite well handicapped here. But who knows what to expect from number 1, the Futurist. I just remind you that he won this race by 9 lengths last year. But let's hope it all pans out for number 7, Garrick's.
Yeah, I can see it clearly that day when he won, Graham, and how he skated clear. I mean, 20 lengths turning to the straight, something stupid, and he just kept finding all the way to the line. And he needs things to go his way. We know him. We know how he races. We've seen him in the past, and Graham has mentioned futures. Just by the way, just with regards to Garrick's, a very interesting CV he has to date. He's won over 1,200, 1,400, 1,600, and 1,800 meters. And he's also run 3rd in the Derby over 2,000 meters. This is over 1,950 meters. A very versatile horse he is. Can he pull it off? Well, all will be told on Sunday. Race number 9 is the C Stakes over 1,000 meters. Number 1, Tough Terrain, is at 7 to 2. 2, Bluff on Bluff, at 6 to 1. Then we have number 7, Counter Attack, at 8 to 1. And we got an 8 to 10 shot here. The US of A. And that's Richard Faree for Paddy Creer. And the word was out in such a big way last time out, after him being a touch unlucky, Graham. You mentioned it on the show, that his penultimate start, you know, he did everything but win that day. He looked the part last time out, and he did a little bit for those that went for him at his penultimate start, because he was back to start in the red. He looked like the right horse in that race. Is he the right horse in this race?
Short and sweet. Best bet on the card. Nap for the day. 3rd run after being gelded. He'll improve even more, I think, from that last run when he comfortably beat Tough Terrain. Yes, he's got 64 to shoulder, but I'm not looking for any spooks here, Dees. The nap of the day for me, short and sweet, number 8, the US of A.
Well, that is what we like. Confidence and a 5 stars for Graham, or a 10 out of 10 if you want to mark it for number 8, the US of A. So you got your banker in Jackpot 2, which could be 2 bankers if you're going to roll in with Garrick's as well. And we close Jackpot 2 off, Graham, in race number 10, which is a Class 4 over 1,400 meters. And as we bring up the field, I'll give you some betting as a guide. Number 3, Iconic Destination, is at 5 to 1. 22 to 10, number 5, War Chariot. Number 6 is trading at 5 to 1, Graham. Take note, there is some money about for Delmeni Factor from 6 to 1 into 5 to 1. Number 7, Happy Days, at 5 to 1. Numbers 8 at 6 to 1. 9 is a scratch at the time of recording. It's double figures the balance. So you've given us plenty of confidence in the previous race. You made a strong case for Garrick's as well in the feature. So Jackpot 2, if we're playing, with those 2 bankers, we got some leeway here, Graham, with regards to spend.
I'd include 4 runners in the final leg of Jackpot 2. I'd include all of numbers 3, Iconic Destination, 5, War Chariot, 6, Del Many Factor, and 7, Happy Days. There's no doubt in my mind that the best horse in the race is number 3, Iconic Destination, but he's been a problem child. For me, he is the class package, but he's had his breathing issues. He came back off a long break, ran second behind Major Master, then second behind Legal Counsel. His next win looked just around the corner. Then he was fourth behind Rich Folks Hoax. He didn't run well from a bad draw last time out over 12.50 at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. But I'm prepared to forgive him that run. And I think here on the winter track from a nice draw, he was drawn out wide on that occasion at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I think from a nice draw, he's going to get the run of the race. But obviously, all things have to go right for him. I'll repeat it again. I think he's the best horse in the race, but you can't rely on him because he's been such a problem child with his breathing issues and other health issues. 5, War Chariot, 6, Del Many Factor, and 7, Happy Days would be the backup for me. I think of those, War Chariot probably stands a stronger chance, but I wouldn't be surprised to see either 6, Del Many Factor, or 7, Happy Days in the winner's enclosure. So the US of A confidently expected to win race 9. Closing out the Jackpot 2, I'd include numbers 3, 5, 6, and 7.
Hey Graham, you mentioned throughout the show that your selections for this race meeting, you're going to go with the place accumulator, and it's up on screen.
Yeah, it's 100 Rand perm. I'm taking no chances in the first leg and include both numbers 2, Tunguska, and 6, Senor Dante. Then numbers 3, Air Raid, and 5, Please Be True in the second leg. I do think that race is a bit more competitive than the betting suggests, as we discussed earlier. Then 5 horses I'm taking on this favourite, Happy Verse. They bet 2 to 1 and 10 to 1 bar 1. Happy Verse being the favourite. I'm going all of numbers 4, 5, 8, 13, and 14. Tough race number 6. That's the fourth race 6. That's the fourth leg of the place accumulator. Going numbers 1, 2, 5, 10, and 12. Then banker number 3, Time for Love. Banker number 7, Garrix, and banker the nap of the day, number 8, the US of A, 100 Rand place accumulator perm. Hoping for a result or 2 in those very tough races.
Graham, as always, thanks for your time, and as always, thanks for the effort that you put into the race card. Appreciated.
Thank you, Dees. Have a wonderful weekend.
Okay, that's Graham Hawkins, and for Gallop TV and myself, Dees Dana, and to you, the valued racing fan. Well, hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day for you if you are playing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on this Sunday. All eyes on Garrix to try and pull off the Winter Series. Until we meet again, you take care.